My name is Shelley Brown, and my story began as a spoiled little rich girl, a violinist, a cheerleader, and life was great. At 23, I was raped and beaten, and I didn't know how to get out of there. I didn't know how to escape, and so I started using drugs. I had a child by him. He was amazing and still is. He kidnapped him when he was 5, which really put me into a whirlwind of a struggle. I fought with him for years over getting custody of my son back. At 30, I was homeless. I had 2 kids, and they lived with their dad. Then I was pregnant again. And I thought, this time I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna have this baby. It's gonna be clean and sober, and he's gonna have a good life. Well, I had him at 6 months pregnant. And the first 3 months, it was a struggle. And I went back to using. He was in an incubator, and he was given a 20% chance of surviving. And of course, he showed them the odds. Through the years, we went through a lot of struggles with Zachary was my youngest. He had a lot of behavior issues that I didn't understand. I had never been around anything like this. He wasn't allowed at school unless I was with him. And so we struggled with this for the first probably 5 years. After 3rd grade, he got expelled from all city schools. So I didn't know really how to take care of him. I'd never been with a child like this. And we moved in 6th grade from California to Oklahoma. Well, this was really stressful on him. The kids always would make fun of him and tease him. And he was such a loving spirit. And he, in 9th grade, he dropped out of school. I was actually so into my addiction that I began dealing methamphetamines. I was making thousands of dollars every day. And I decided, you know what, I want to do this right. I want to show him that you can be anything you want to be in life if you believe. And so I just quit. God gave me a vision, and it was to open a recovery center to help others who needed help. And so I did. And I showed him. I went back, I got a full-time job working in mental health, and I had my recovery center, and I decided I want to go back to school. So I did. And I showed him, you can do this. Well, in the process, his behaviors were getting worse and worse. And he started his addiction. I went into the hospital for 4 days. Me and him both have really bad anxiety and depression. And he was supposed to go to the hospital with me because he had been having chest pains, and so had I. And on the way to the hospital, he said, "No, Mom, I'm fine. I'm staying home. You go and make sure you're okay." And so I went. And we texted back and forth, you know, and talked and everything while I was in there. I was in the hospital for 4 days. On the 4th day, my pastor came in to tell me that my son had overdosed and died. And I thought life was finally taking a turn for the better. And so, of course, I went on the Poor Pity Me, and oh my God, I'm in shock, and what do I do now with my life? I was doing everything to show him that dreams come true. And then God told me, don't let him die in vain. Don't let this story end. Your life is not over. You have to go on. And so I decided at that point that it's time. It's time that I come out and I tell his story, because people need to know that even though despite all these challenges, that we can still make it. In the past 3 years, I lost my son. I've had 3 major surgeries. I left my home, my family, my friends, my church family, and my recovery center to become an advocate. I moved to a big city because I thought they could hear my voice better if I was there and I could be part of. And so that's what I do now, is I just go and I try to give people hope that even though everything in your world could be going wrong, there's still hope. There's still hope. And I know that my story is not over. It is just a chapter. And it's going to go where I want it to go, because it is my story. And I can make the ending any way I want. And I believe in fairy tales because I was that little princess. And I'm still that princess. And things are going wonderful in my life. And of course I miss my son. But for him to be able to touch as many lives as he's touching through his story, it's amazing that he gets to be recognized. And in the last year, I've got to speak on the news. I've got to speak on the radio. I've been part of rallies at the Capitol. I actually got the first 2 proclamations in Oklahoma, and they were presented to me and my family in recognition and memory of my son. And that was just incredible. It was incredible. And I even got a letter from the president. And that was, I mean, amazing. And then I was nominated for the Voice Award. And that made me very proud that people recognize that I do want to make a difference. And I do want my struggles to become somebody else's hope, and let them, yeah, it's a fight and it's a battle and it's a struggle. Sometimes pretty bad on days. But you know what? Every day I get up and I think, okay, God, we've got this. What's next? Let my tests become my testimony and share with others and give them hope. They can do it just like I can do it. So I'm here today to say, don't give up. Keep fighting. It's a good fight, and it's so worth it. It is so worth it. If it saves one life and stops that pain for someone else, it's so worth it. Thank you.